End portals are just so boring. So in this video, I'm going to upgrade them with this giant entrance, including a beautiful custom cherry tree and a base with everything I need to survive in Minecraft Hardcore. But our closest stronghold is currently located under this giant hill, and I definitely do not feel like digging out this entire area. So I plugged our seed into this online tool which shows all locations of different strongholds in the world, and this one in particular really caught my eye. But as you can see in the top left, I have had to travel 10,000 blocks to get here, but I think it's worth it because we have this beautiful ocean surrounded by coral reefs. So let's just dig straight down and hopefully we should pop out right in the stronghold. Uh-oh, please don't drown. I don't like this. Oh, we're through. Whew. But near-death experiences aside, all I had to do was find the portal, make sure that it was safe, and dig directly back up to the surface. And now that we know exactly where the portal is, I'm just going to fly on over to this island where I can grab a bunch of sandstone that I can just place over our little hole here and build all the way up to mark the exact center of our soon-to-be build. And now I have to fly 10,000 blocks home just to get some resources. Oh, I should have thought about this earlier. And we're finally home. Oh, that took so long. Get me to my storage room. And all I really want to do for now is grab all of our dirt and chuck it in a shulker box, because I want to use this to mark out the perimeter of our new build. But most importantly, I actually want to grab this obsidian, as well as crafting a new flint and steel, and this time heading into the Nether, because using the Nether to travel instead of the overworld is just going to save us so much time. Alright, this should be the spot. So let's just build a nice little nether portal here. Alright, let's see if this worked. Uh-oh, I think I did it wrong. We're on the complete other side of the world. Well, that was a waste of time. Oh man, that means I have to travel another 2,000 blocks to put the right portal down, and honestly, with 5 fireworks, I don't think we're going to make it. So I'm just going to have to head home instead to get more fireworks. Oh, this is going badly already. Alright, we made it back with 1 firework left. So let's just grab some gunpowder. Oh, come on. What have I done to deserve this? Well, looks like we're going to have to go to our creeper farm. The only problem is that's more than 1 firework rocket away. So I guess I'm just going to have to go on foot. Oh, great. There's no ladder. Well, the sun's going down at least. I guess we're just going to have to fight some creepers. And now that our little gunpowder shortage is taken care of, let's head back into the Nether and try this again at the right coordinates. Oh great, it's put us in a cave. Yep, you love to see it. Whatever, you know what, let's just break this. And I am fairly confident that we're in the right location, so let's just dig straight up. Oh, I see daylight. Well, we're in an ocean, that's a good sign. Oh, and I can see our pillar in the distance over there too. And let's just make 1 more portal above the water here so we don't spawn in the tunnels again. And let's just pray this links up with the one on the roof. Oh, it does. Nice, okay, we did it. Whew, that was a lot of effort. And after all that, we can finally get down to business. And the first thing I would like to start with is the perimeter. So first of all, I'm going to have to make a giant dirt circle, and then all of the water within that circle is going to have to be drained, because we want our build to go all the way down to the seafloor. And as I do that, please subscribe and hit the bell. It really helps. And while this absolute monstrosity is by far the worst circle I've ever built in Minecraft, I just needed a general circle that I can drain the water from and place a smaller and better circle in the drained perimeter later. And speaking of draining this area out, we are going to need a lot of sand. So I'm just going to head back home because I would like to grab some more enchanted shovels to help dig it all up. Whoa, hang on. Why do I have such low FPS in this village? Wait a second. Did I possibly leave on the villager farm from episode 2? Oh my word. Guys, I am so sorry. You deserve better living standards than this. And I deserve better frames than this too. So let's just make a quick pit stop at our lava farm. Okay, anybody who loves villagers, this is your warning. Look away from the screen. What have we done? Hey, but look, I've got all my frames back now. Anyway, I was in the middle of trying to get some enchantments for a new shovel. Alright, villagers, what have you got for me? Wait, 64 emeralds? Wait, why are all these guys so expensive? Oh, this episode just gets harder and harder. You know what? Let's just head back into our storage room instead, so we can just make a bunch of diamond shovels and just go ahead and get them enchanted by ourselves. Oh, efficiency 4. That's a good start. And check on the enchanted shovels. But we are not finished preparations just yet, as we still need something to carry all of the extra sand with. So I'm going to make a quick pit stop to the end, because we are going to need a lot of extra shulker boxes. And bada bing, bada boom. We have an extra 5 shulker boxes now. So now we can finally head to a desert and let's do some digging. Alright, sand acquired. Now this is where things are going to get a little bit tedious for me. All I have to do is drop sand down like this on each piece of dirt until it stacks all the way up to the top like that. And I just have to do that on every single square of this entire circle. What am I getting myself into here? You guys better hit the like button for this. Now all I'll say is 5 shulker boxes definitely wasn't enough. But after a couple more visits to the desert, we got sorted eventually. And we have finally finished the initial circle. I've got to be honest, I think I kind of misjudged just how big this thing was. But it does look pretty cool, despite it being far from a perfect circle. And I may have spent my entire Saturday doing this, but I would say that it's worth it, because it is finally going to enable us to drain all of this water. Which brings us on to the next step. We are going to need a lot of sponges, and you can only get them from ocean monuments. But to do that, I'm going to need the Aqua Affinity and Respiration enchantments, just to make sure we don't drown. So let's go ahead and grab some diamonds, which we can then use to craft a new helmet. But at the moment, I only have a villager that sells Aqua Affinity. So let's try and enchant this thing first. Oh, there we go, Respiration. Nice, let's grab that. And I will take 1 Aqua Affinity, please. Boom. And boom. Goodbye, old helmet. You have served me well. And just to make our lives easier in the temple, I'm going to grab some milk, craft a bunch of TNT, and finally, let's craft ourselves some strong potions of invisibility. And with that, we are finally ready to find an ocean monument. Oh, hello, what is that I see in the distance? I think that's it. Alright, first things first, let's drink our potion of invisibility. Let's take all of our armor off, and let's do this. Okay, now I believe these chambers at the end here sticking out are for the Elder Guardians. So let's just plop some TNT down here, get it all covered up, and get it lit. Please work. Nice, it did work. Alright, let's get in there and kill the Elder Guardian. Sorry, sir, I imagine you are very confused right now, but it's got to be done, unfortunately, because I need those things. I need sponges. Okay, we got 1 sponge, but we are going to need a lot more than that. So let's just kill you, and we are now safe to swim up here and collect all of the sponges. Maybe I should have brought a better tool for this. And after that single monument, we already have 34 sponges, but I want at least a couple of stacks. So let's find more monuments. And okay, with almost 3 stacks of sponges, I think we are ready to get started here. Admittedly, I have never used sponges before, which is kind of crazy considering how long I've been playing this game. So I don't know what to expect here, but here we go. And boom. Wait, what? Oh, hang on a second, these are all wet sponges. I completely forgot that I found them underwater. Not to worry though, all we have to do is lay them out in the Nether and they should dry up nice and easily. And boom. So if we just place these every 5 or so blocks, we should hit a nice even spread on the water. I think it's probably easier to do this from underwater as well, but let's just keep going for now. And that is already 1 layer, just about done. And it definitely wasn't too bad, although I do think this is definitely going to take a good few hours to get through. But hey, I knew what I signed up for here. Let's kick it into a montage. And oh boy, we are finally complete. But now we need to get rid of these giant sand columns. And we could just grab a shovel and dig them away. But I think that is probably going to take too much time again. So instead, I'm going to grab a load of wood from our chests and chuck them all in the super smelter so we can turn all of this charcoal into a load of torches. Which means we can then do the cheeky little trick of just removing a bit of sand at the bottom here and letting all the sand collapse on top of the torch. Pretty old school method, but it still works. Oh yes, this is much better. Okay, now I feel like we are finally starting to make some actual progress here. Everything looks a bit more manageable now. But next up, we're going to have to get rid of all of this sand and all of this stone that's underneath it, because we're going to have to dig down all the way to the stronghold below us. But of course, we're going to need some help, and that help is going to come in the form of a beacon. So let's grab all of my iron and go ahead and build this bad boy up. And of course, we are going to select haste 2 and let's get digging. And that is one giant circle fully decimated. Now it is a little bit messy in some places and a little bit uneven in the middle, but that's okay because we're not going to use all of this space, which is going to become obvious during our next step, which is going to be building the outline of our actual build. Now that is going to be another circle, and I would like to use a block that we've not actually used in this world before, and it could be quite dangerous to get because I would like a load of blackstone, and unfortunately the Nether is the only place we can get it. But as long as we stay away from bastions, I think we should be fine. And lava, gotta stay away from lava too. So I'm just going to grab a good amount of this, and then we'll head back to our circle. And blackstone acquired. So let's start building this wall outline. Oh, the vision is starting to come together. I'm so happy we're actually building now after all of this setup. So these two circles running along the outside are going to make up the outer wall. Then we'll have an empty gap in the middle, which we'll fill with something cool. And in the center, that is going to be the platform down to the end. And of course, we're going to raise all of these walls well above sea level. And then all of the empty space on the outside here will just be water when we remove the sand. But to build the walls, we are going to have to decide on a block palette. Let's see, we're definitely going to want some stone for this. And you know what, while we're here, let's grab some cobblestone and andesite and granite. Oh, and we got to do some deep slate. Maybe I'm getting a little bit carried away. I'll see you in a sec. And what do we think of this? I think we've actually managed to get a super nice gradient here. Starting off, of course, with the blackstone, but then that moves into some lighter blocks like deep slate into tough. Then we've got some stone variants like cobblestone, andesite, and smooth stone. Then we just finish up here at the end with diorite and calcite. Of course, the walls are going to be pretty tall, so there'll be a few blocks per layer of the gradient, and honestly, most importantly, all of these blocks are nice and easy to collect. So I think it will be a good idea to build up the gradient just at one part of the wall, and then at least I'll get a good idea of how many blocks I need. And okay, this is what we are working with. That is definitely quite tall, but I do like it. It's definitely a good distance above the sea level, which is what we want. But now we're going to have to get all of these blocks to fill in all of these circles. This is one grindy episode, but those blocks ain't gonna dig themselves up. And honestly, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, because I'm condensing down several days of work into a 20-second montage here, but it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world after all, so you get the short version of events instead. And I feel like that is the last grindy part finally out of the way. But oh boy, did this thing take a long time. Now, of course, we're going to need something on the top of these walls to walk on. So I'm just going to have a quick trip to our farming district because I would like to incorporate some bamboo into the floors and top of the walls. And yoink. So first of all, I'm just going to pillar up by an extra 2 blocks here. Then I think we'll just start by bringing the bamboo all the way around the circle. Oh, I am really liking how this looks. That yellow trim across the top is so cool. And of course, we're going to need something that goes well with the bamboo wood. And I think the perfect block would be birch wood. So let's just go ahead and yoink a load of this. And that should be enough. And while we're out here, I'm just going to grab a load of oak logs as well, because I think we could definitely incorporate some of these too. Now let's just get the trusty woodcutter out, because I want to turn a load of these birch logs into slabs. Then I'm just going to run them across the edge of the bamboo here like this. And then if we just hop over to the other side here, we can run it along the opposite side. You can see how it just makes it a little bit wider across the top, which is just going to create more room for our walkway. And I want to make sure that we've got a nice design on the curves here, and obviously it's a circle, it's all curves. So I think first of all we'll just build a few layers up with some oak logs, add some more birch slabs along the bottom here like this, and for the top part we can just alternate between oak trapdoors and oak slabs here like this. But alright, that's enough yapping for now. Let's get this finished up. Now that actually took quite a bit longer than I was expecting, but I'm glad we done it because it looks really cool. We've got some nice details going all the way around the side now, and this empty space in the middle here is finally ready for our walkway. And since we're building in the middle of an ocean surrounded by blue, I think it will be a really nice idea to have the tops all green and vibrant. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a load of these grass blocks, which I can then use to fill in all of these gaps between the wood. Ooh, Ooh, and that is looking very tidy. And I do really like the green and blue contrast with the ocean too. It's just starting to fully sink in just how much room we've got to work with here. So I think we should divide this circle up into different sections. And since the walkway is made out of grass, I think leaves would make the perfect divider block. So let's just go ahead and place them all along the edges here like this and get them all connected up on the other side. Oh, that is already looking so much better, isn't it? I also just added a few oak slabs in too, just to thicken the borders up, but I think it really works. So we've now got some pretty distinct sections on this thing. And what I'm thinking is for all of the bits that are surrounded by leaves, we have some nice lush garden areas. And then for the middle points, we can put some buildings in there too. But let's finish the gardens first. And I think a good place to start with that would definitely be to add some moss blocks. And let's also grab a load of bones for bone meal. So now we can just dig up the grass randomly and get these blotches all replaced with moss instead. And moss looking good. So let's craft up this bone meal. And I just want to run some grass along the edges here like this. Oh, that's actually looking sick. But we definitely need something else to fill these gaps in the middle. And we do have a lot of leftover leaves. So how about we just keep it nice and simple and make some basic cute little oak trees. Oh yeah, okay, I think something like that will do the job. Montage time. And just like that, the gardens are nice and complete. I really like these things too. They are of course very simple, but that was intentional. I kind of just wanted something neat and tidy, you know? Now I'll be honest, I am fighting the urges to turn some of these into giant crop fields, because you know I love a good crop field. So maybe I'll have a change of heart towards the end of the episode, but for now, I think these gardens will do. Which brings us on to the next section. We still have these 4 big empty sections on the circle, and I definitely want to start by building a nice big house here, so that way we can store all of our goodies and have a functioning base around our end portal. Now for this build, I think I want to go with some type of Japanese kind of inspired aesthetic. Since we'll be building a giant cherry tree above the end portal, it does make sense. So I think we should start with some mangrove logs. Oh, we're definitely a bit low on them. Let me just grab some saplings. We'll get some spruce wood too, which we are completely out of. Brilliant. I guess we're grabbing these saplings as well. And let's also grab some bamboo wood. But since we're out of wood, we are definitely going to have to plant some trees. And I always forget how to do mangrove every single time. Let's see, do we just put some grass in the water? Oh, we do, okay. Nice. And luckily, I do have a beautiful tree chopping mod on, which makes mangrove collection super straightforward too. And let's just take a little mosey on over to our podzol patch, so we can also grab a load of spruce wood. Nice. And real quick, before we get back to building, I'm going to have a trip to our mob farm because I'm on my last stack of firework rockets. Now that is much better. Let's get back to it. And here are all of the blocks that I've decided to use in this palette. We're going to go with the classic andesite and stone foundation, have some nice sandstone walls, and then for the roof and other details, we're going to go with bamboo, deep slate, and mangrove. So let's just get a quick floor plan in here, just so we at least know what we're working with. And there we go. I think something like this will make a good size. Now the only unfortunate thing is I have actually gone over the edge a little bit because I didn't want to make it too small, which of course means I'm going to have to put some extra effort in to make that blend properly, but it should be worth it. Alright, we've got our plan, let's get it done. And if you're still watching at this point, prove it and comment the word bubbles. Oh, and I am loving how this has turned out. I'm just glad that we had an excuse to use mangrove wood for once. It is such an underrated wood type, and I think the deep slate complements it really nicely too. But of course, let me give you the tour of the inside. So we have got a super simple design in here. We've just got some nice tables at the front doors, as well as some bookshelves, and a lovely bit of carpet. And then if we come onto the center platform here, this is where we have the main area. So of course, we've gone for the triple king size deluxe bed. We got a nice tall roof on this thing, and of course, just some storage and decoration at the back here too. And then over on this side, we have basically just repeated what we have on this side over here. And for the back side here, a little bit of a work in progress still, but I've basically just brought the platform out to support it fully, which then feeds into the back of the build there. I think it looks a lot better when you're coming in from a distance. And of course, lovely to see progress on the circle here, but I think I would like to move on to one of the other sections now too. So let's maybe just fly over here, and this is going to be the build site for the next structure. here. And as for what to build, since I've kind of decided on a loosely Japanese-inspired build theme, I would like something on here that loosely resembles a Torii gate. Because I'll be honest, I kind of just want something that I can fly through to get into the area. I think that would be pretty cool. Now we should probably go for similar block palette to this, so I'm thinking definitely sticking with the mangrove wood, but I'm also going to make a quick pit stop at the Badlands biome, because I think this red terracotta would go really nicely with the mangrove wood. Oh wait, hang on, this is orange terracotta. What about this? Nope, that's brown. It really doesn't help being colorblind here. Oh, never mind. I'll just grab this normal terracotta instead, so we can grab some bones, turn them into bone meal, head back to our farming island, where we can grab a load of red dye. We should be able to then dye all of this terracotta red. Also, I've noticed the dyes look different. Is that a mod pack or is that just an update? I don't even know anymore. So if we're going to go for a gate that I can fly through, we're definitely going to want to raise it up a few levels first. So let's just go ahead and outline a nice stone foundation. Okay, looking good. Should probably include some stairs going up to the top here as well. And then we can take our red terracotta and start marking out where we actually want the legs of the gate to stand. Okay, yep, something like this should do. So let's just start building these up. And I'm just going to take a quick pit stop to the Nether because I forgot to get a certain block. I am after some of these bad boys, the shroom lights. Now, thanks to our tree chopping mod, we can just insta-mine them, so this will only take a second. But now that we're back, we can pop the shroom lights on top of here and surround them with some trapdoors. And okay, all of the legs are looking pretty solid right now. So now all I've got to do is go ahead and get them all connected up to each other. Then let's just add some big ones right across the top here, add a few final details. And how cool does that look? Oh man, I absolutely love this thing. Definitely works as a gate that I can fly through now, but to be honest, it's kind of feeling a little bit empty in these sections. And I think I have the perfect idea. And all we're going to need for this is some bamboo stairs and some bamboo trapdoors. But first off, I just want to pillar up by 3 blocks and place a shroom light here. Then let's just place some blocks on the outside here like this and round it off with some bamboo stairs. Then I'm just going to spam some trapdoors. Okay, you can probably see what I'm going for now. I basically just want a type of gong hanging from the center here. And I really like the shape, but I think we should hang up with some iron chains. Then all that was left to do was thicken the struts up a little bit with some walls and fences and add an oak leaf border around the edge. Oh, and there's the final product. So this is what we'll see when we're approaching the island. Oh, this looks so good. Yeet. Now we've still got 2 empty spaces left on the circle, and to be honest, at this point I am 3 weeks into making this video and absolutely sick of my life, so I am not going to go through the extra effort of designing more things. I think we'll just put one of these on the opposite side, and we'll do the same with the house as well. We'll just put one over there because we still have not started on the main attraction yet. Alright, I guess I'm going to get back to work, but since you've already seen me build these 2, I'll just bring you straight back in a second. And a little bit later, all of the builds are complete. But this one doesn't actually have an interior, but I won't tell if you won't. Alright, on to the next section. I think it's time to finally remove this sand around the side here, because I would like the build actually connected to the water now. But the only problem with doing that is it'll be very hard to build on the side of the walls here, and I definitely do want some decoration up here. So I think we'll decorate the walls first, and then once that's sorted, we can remove the sand walls. But since this is an end portal themed build, I'm going to build a load of miniature portals on the side of the big wall. So I'm just going to grab a load of rose bushes for red dye, as well as some cornflowers for blue dye. Then we can combine the 2 of those to make purple dye. But of course I'm going to need a lot more than that. Although luckily this shouldn't take too long, these things are everywhere after all. And then all I've got to do is grab things like purple wool, purple terracotta, which we can get smelted up into purple glazed terracotta. Let's also craft some purple concrete powder and turn a load of that into purple concrete. Alright, slight change of plan. I did also grab some magenta blocks because I feel like that's going to make a nice gradient with the purple. So let's just get ourselves down here. Now I think I want the portals here on each side where the diorite is, so let's just build out a little bit so we don't fall off. And I'm thinking the gradient for the portal should look something like this. So we start with the darker purple blocks, which then lead into the magenta blocks. And I did get some magenta concrete powder, but to be honest, I'm kind of looking at this now thinking we don't really need it. But let's see what we can do here. So I'm just going to try and make a circle first with these blocks. Okay, yeah, something like that is a good start. I know it looks a bit square right now, but trust the process. Let's just keep placing blocks, and we can see the inside is already starting to round off a little bit better. But now let's switch to the magenta blocks across the middle here like this, because I would like to place some gravity blocks in, and obviously we need blocks for those to stand on. So let's just finish off with magenta concrete and some purple concrete powder. Okay, cool, that is looking a lot more like a circle now. Of course, the outside itself is still quite square, but that's why I brought all of this wood with me. So let's go ahead and craft all of these dark oak logs into planks, and I want to just build on the outside of it here like this, and hopefully we can get a bit more of a circle shape going on. Oh, this bit's definitely a bit more awkward to build, but I do think it's going to be worth it. Looking good so far. I've left this gap on the side here like this so we can run some wood along the side and connect it with the other ones. I do, however, quickly just want to put some trapdoors on the corners here like this, and that should definitely round it out a little bit more. Nice. And I know we're supposed to be building a giant end portal, not nether portal, but portal's a portal. Alright, now I've just got to build this 3 more times around the circle and get it all connected up. Time for another montage. Oh, look at it, it's so good. I am so happy we actually decided to put something on the outside here, because I was contemplating just leaving it for a little bit. But I'll be honest, this was extremely fidgety and it's pretty much took my entire weekend. So I want to just get down here and start removing the sand walls. Now I am going to try and cheese this a little bit with torches. So let's see, hopefully this works. Place a torch there. Oh, the water gets in the way. Bruh, that is so sad. Maybe it'll be easy enough to just do this. Oh, it's so slow. This is the worst thing to ever happen to me. Just gonna have to dig the whole thing out by hand. Wait, so as you guys just seen a minute ago, we can't actually use torches to do this. But what I did figure out is we can actually use sea pickles instead. So if I just plop one on the ground here, all the sand falls on it. Oh, this is going to save so much time. Oh, and look at that. It is so much better without that dumb circle around it, isn't it? Oh yes, I'm happy with that. But next up, I actually want to work on this middle section now, because as it currently stands, this thing is a total eyesore. And what I would like to do is get a load of black and grey glass. Then we can just stack a few layers up on the inside of this circle to create like a misty fog effect. I think that'll be really cool. But to create all of that glass, we are going to need a lot of black and grey dye. That's right. We're going to have to build a squid farm. So I am just approaching an ocean monument that we found earlier in the episode, because this is where the squid farm is going to go. Let's drink this potion of invisibility. And the good thing is that these farms are super easy to build. I'm just following this tutorial here by Trilloms. Okay, farm all set and ready to go. Excuse the note block. It's a bit annoying. In fact, can we turn that down? Yes, we can. Get off. But this is where things are going to get a little bit complicated. Now you can see all around us the Guardians have been killing squid and making them drop their ink sacs. So the question is, how do we get those ink sacs into these hoppers? First of all, we need to find one of these pillager outposts, murder all the locals, and find some beautiful allies to free. Alright, don't run away, guys. I need you in here. I'm going to give you an ink sac, and I'm going to give you an ink sac. And now you two are going to follow me back to the ocean monument. Let's go, boys. And there it is, we made it. Let's just drink another one of these invisibility potions before we get there. And let's also pray that the Guardians don't just kill our allies. Oh, is it working? Oh, I think it's working. Oh, it looks like the Guardians can't even get them. All right, come on, my little minions. Come deposit it. So yeah, I am just going to leave this running for the rest of the day, and hopefully we'll have a double chest when we get back. All right, it's been a good few hours now, so let's pop down and see what we've got. Come on. Oh, we've got loads. I'm going to have to come back with some more invisibility potions so we can get the rest. But let's just head home first. Okay, it's 1 black dye per 1 ink sac. But I believe we only need 1 ink sac to dye the glass. So we get 8 bits of stained glass for every bit of black dye. And I already have unlimited bone meal that we get from our skeleton farm. So we can also make the grey dye, which gives us 2. And of course, we can get those crafted with the same exchange rate. All right, that tiny little squid farm is very OP. So I'm going to do some more crafting, grab an absolute buttload of shroom lights for the bottom layer of our fog effect, and let's build this middle section. Well, after many hours later, the fog is in, and you can probably imagine that I vastly underestimated just how many resources I was going to need for all of this. And I've got to be honest, it doesn't really look like fog, it's too shiny, which I guess it's just a problem with the shaders. Oh, but I also did make a trip to the end for these end rods, which I think looks really cool. It's kind of like a void, especially when you back up and look at it from a distance. But I also think that another issue is the fact that you can see all of the lines on the glass. Now, I tried disabling that with the connected textures mod and a resource pack, but it's still there. Not really sure what's going on with that one, but I am so far into this project now that I do not care. Mission failed successfully. And you know what that means? We are finally ready to move on to the middle podium. So let's just fly on down to this lovely forest over here. So we can just go ahead and chop down a load of oak trees, because I just want to fly on into the middle section here, pop our woodcutter down, craft some oak planks and some oak trapdoors. Oh, and actually I'll grab some slabs as well, because I just want to go ahead and actually extend this out a little bit more. So I'm just going to do some planks like this along the edge, and we can run some slabs along the top here like this, and just finish it off with some oak trapdoors. Oh yeah, okay, that's nice. And let's just get that all filled in around the middle section. And again, just want to fly into the middle section here so we can fill this all in with stone. Alright, so that is the foundation fully laid for our centerpiece. And since I want to build a giant tree on this thing, I'm actually thinking of putting it into a giant plant pot. So I'm just going to grab a few of these shulker boxes, because I would like to head back over to the Badlands to build this pot out of terracotta. I think that'll kind of just make it look like a big clear bowl. And also, while I'm over here, what the heck is going on? I've noticed this a few times in my world now, where the chunks just get like cut off, and I'm seeing it a lot more now, which is kind of worrying, I'm not gonna lie. We've even got some over there too. I think I'm just going to have to pray that my terrain generation mods ain't gonna blow my world up. Oh, there's more over there as well. Bro, this is genuinely a little bit scary. But just like the rest of my problems, I'm just gonna pretend that it doesn't exist and carry on hoping it'll go away. Anyway, let's grab the rest of this terracotta. Alright, terracotta required. So let's fly down into our middle section again, and let's just build the base of a large terracotta circle. Now I have left quite a bit of space here on the outside, and that's because I basically want to build outwards with this giant pot, which I may be explaining badly, but trust me, you'll see in a second. Yeah, so something like that, the whole bowl will kind of go outwards. But as with everything this episode, this one's probably going to take a while. Let's do it. And okay, plant pot is looking pretty cool actually, at least on the outside. We still have all of this space to fill, but I don't think I'm actually going to have anything on the ground over here. I think we'll just grab some blocks instead and just cover the top. And since it's a giant plant pot, we are going to need soily blocks. Oh, actually, ignore me saying soily blocks, I don't like the sound of that. But of course, what I mean by soily blocks is definitely some rooted dirt, as well as some lovely coarse dirt, some regular dirt and grass blocks. And we can't go wrong with some oak leaves too. So yeah, all we've got to do is go around and make it look soily. Shouldn't be too hard. And okay, we've got a pretty good baseline here. I did also add some leftover shroom lights in, which we can put some moss carpets over later. But what I want to do is come to the edge here like this and just start building around the edges. That way we can have another layer moving towards the outside of the bowl. Oh, nice. The second layer looks really good. I think I'd just like to do one more layer though, and that should get us nice and lined up with the edge here. Hang on a second. What? Is that a bat? Bro, why is it so big? Oh, die. Oh, there's more of them. Is this a texture pack gone wrong or something? I can't even kill them. What is going on? Okay, my game's completely broken now. Ah, whatever. You know what? Let's just ignore them and I'll fix it later. Alright, I've got good news. And I've got better news. The good news is that the plant pot platforms are finally done, but the even better news is the bats are normal again. Turns out my fresh animation texture pack was messing them up. But okay, all I want to do now is go around and add some nature blocks in. We'll get some leaves down, we'll plant some ferns. I also want to get some moss carpet sprinkled in over the shroom lights and in some of the corners too. And let's just sprinkle in some slabs so that it's a lot easier to walk around. And okay, this is looking pretty good. I did have to make another trip to a forest to grab some extra ferns, but I do think it was worth it though, because this is looking pretty solid. Oh, and also just on the outside of the ball, I've added these little plant pots. There's not really much to it, but I did feel like we had to add something there. And actually, in fact, why don't we just grab some bone meal, because I think this is looking a little bit flat, so it wouldn't hurt to spice it up. Now, I'll be honest, we are kind of in the home stretch now. I am going to decorate the middle column because I want to get some of these fake portals on them too. But before we do that, I actually want to add some cool decorations on the side of the pot here. And then once we've got something there, we can run it down the side, which will connect up to the portals. So let's just clear out the lawn here. Get a nice chunk of oak wood coming off the front. Now let's raise it up by a couple blocks. So we've got something like that. Then we're going to start to curve it back in on itself like this. And just a little bit later, we are going to be left with something that kind of resembles an S. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Okay, a little bit of a mess right now, but I'm a believer. Let's just add in some extra details like trapdoors, oak fences, some lovely birchwood for a nice accent, and sometime later we have a big twisty spinny spiral thing, whatever you want to call this. And oh boy, does it look good from up here. But you guessed it though, I'm not just going to go with one. I want one on each side of the plant pot, which makes 4 in total, just to even everything out. And of course, I did say that I wanted to put portals on the middle structure, and these are just a smaller copy of what we built earlier, but I don't really think that matters because they look great anyway. And oh baby, this is finally actually coming together now. What a difference this makes to the plant pot. I am so happy with how these things look. Definitely the perfect framing device for the tree that's about to go on there. I'm also really happy with the portals down here too. And one extra detail actually, since I had some spare end rods left over from the floor, I've actually gone ahead and put them inside of the portals themselves. I've done the same on the outside here too, and I think they look really good. But I'm going to be honest guys, I'm currently over 140 hours into this project. It has non-stop been consuming my entire life for the past 6 weeks. So for that reason, I am absolutely not messing around anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab all the materials that we need for our tree, and let's do this. This thing is by far the largest build I have ever done in Minecraft. But you guys know that I do suck at trees, so I had to get help from Calvin MC to make this one. Big shout out to him. But if we just fly on down to the platform here, there is a very small hidden door around the side, which leads into the inside of the tree, where you can find this giant crack in the ground leading to the end portal. Oh, I just think that is so cool down there. But thank you for making it this far into the video. It was an absolutely massive one for me. It's taken about 6 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.